Hey, hello. Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for joining us for another The Lives and Lessons Learned of 100 Christians. Today we're doing somebody's got four names: Anne, Spencer, Morrow, Lindburgh, June 22nd, 1906 through February 7, 2001. Oh, it was a long time. She was an American writer, aviator, and pioneering feminist thinker whose introspective works explored women's roles, solitude, and spiritual growth amid fame's glare. Born in Englewood, New Jersey, to Dwight Morrow, a prominent lawyer, banker, and U.S. ambassador to Mexico, and to Elizabeth Reeve Morrow, a poet and educator, she grew up in a privileged, intellectual, stimulating home, and later in New Jersey, and then later in New York City. The youngest of four children, she was shy, and she found solace in literature and nature. Her family's emphasis on public service and education shaped her. She attended the Chapin School. Oh my gosh, we did Samuel Chapin yesterday, and graduated from Smith College with a degree in English, where she honed her writing and won literary prizes. She met Mr. Charles A. Lindburgh, the famed aviator, fresh from his 1927 solo transatlantic flight during a 1927 Christmas visit to her parents in Mexico City. Smitten by his heroism and intellect, she wrote in her diary of intending to marry a hero. They wed on May 27, 1929, in a private ceremony at her family's Englewood estate. And then, only 22, became Charles' co-pilot, navigator, and radio operator on exploratory flights, charting air routes across 5 continents, over 40,000 miles. In 1930, she earned the first U.S. glider pilot's license for a woman, and received the National Geographic Society's Hubbard Medal, the first woman so honored. Their adventures inspired her early books, including North to the Orient, detailing the 1931 Arctic flight to Asia. All right. Tragedy struck, you may know, in March 1932, when their 20-month-old son, Charles Jr., was kidnapped from their Hopewell, New Jersey home and murdered, sparking the crime of the century and forcing the family into seclusion. The ensuing media frenzy and trial of Bruno Hauptmann in 1935 shattered Anne's privacy. Amid this, she gave birth to 5 more children: John, Land, Anne, Scott, and Reeve. They settled on a 200-acre farm in Darien, Connecticut. In 1938, she moved to a secluded Maine island in the 1950s. All right. Christian influence. While Anne Morrow Lindburgh is best known for her literary and aviation achievements, her Christian faith, though deeply personal and less overtly evangelistic than other figures, profoundly shaped her life, writings, and legacy. Rooted in her Presbyterian upbringing and expressed through introspective works like Gift from the Sea, 1955, her spirituality was contemplative, emphasizing God's presence in solitude, nature, and human relationship. Her faith, often subtle and woven into universal themes, resonated with Christians seeking meaning amid modernity's chaos. We can explore her Christian influence through her life, writings, and impact, followed by lessons drawn from her faith, aligning with the Christian influence, life and work a little bit more. Anne's faith was nurtured early by her mother, a devout Presbyterian, as mentioned, who instilled biblical values and a love for reflective writing. Her diaries, later published, reveal her wrestling with God through life's highs, global flights with Charles Lindbergh, and the lows, obviously the well-publicized kidnapping murder of their son. Her Christian worldview framed her response to suffering, as seen in the book Hour of Gold, Hour of Lead, where she processed grief through a lens of divine sovereignty of hope, echoing Job's perseverance. Her marriage to Charles, who was a nominal Christian with deistic leanings, challenged her to anchor her faith independently, often finding solace in prayer and scripture during their secluded years. All right, some lessons. Find God in solitude and silence. Anne's retreats to Maine, a detailed and gift from the sea, taught her to hear God's voice in stillness, urging believers to carve out a space for divine connection in the midst of life's noise. She wrote in Gift from the Sea, solitude is where we meet ourselves and God. Trust God's sovereignty in suffering. Again, the loss of her son and the public scrutiny drove Anne to lean on God's plan. As seen in her diaries, she encourages faith that transformed grief into spiritual growth. She wrote in Hours of Gold, Hours of Lead, faith carries us through the leaden hours of gold. The leaden hours? All right. Live authentically as a witness to faith. Anne's honest diaries, admitting her marital struggles and doubts, modeled vulnerability. Her faith shone through genuine reflection, inspiring Christians to live transparently. We've talked a lot about that. She wrote in Locked Rooms and Open Doors, truth in our hearts reflects God's light. Seek balance in faithful relationship. Her marriage, tested by fame and infidelity, taught Anne to anchor love in God's grace, balancing selfhood with devotion, a theme Christian women's groups embraced. She wrote in Dearly Beloved, love like faith requires grace to endure. One more. Reflect God's beauty in creation and art. Anne's awe at nature, the skies in North to the Orient, seashells in Gift to the Sea, saw God's handiwork. Her writing urges Christians to create beauty as worship. She wrote in the book North to the Orient, in flight I saw God's vastness, in writing I shared it. Her journey, her Christian influence lies in her ability to articulate faith's quiet strength for a broad audience, particularly women navigating identity in a modern age. All right, there you go. Anne Spencer Morrow Lindburgh. Take care. God bless. Bye.